stopped. I was just like, wait, holy crap, I'm actually buying. But then I was like thinking, what's the worst? It's a $20,000 house. What's the worst that could happen?
Hey guys, welcome again. We are recording episode 5, and today we're going to be talking about Dylan and his start, how he's gotten his influence in real estate, how he's progressed through the different stages of real estate, where he started, where he is now, and hopefully it serves a little bit of as like an inspiration for you and your story, because we all have different ones. If you listen to the last episode, we had Daryl on. He spoke for several minutes about like where he got started and how he's progressed through. He's been through a lot more phases, and now he's retired himself, retired his wife. Like he's really gotten to it, and Dylan is at a point now where he's really gotten ahead as well and got a jump on it a lot sooner. So we're going to jump into that now.
So basically, how I started it, I guess?
Yeah. Like, how'd you get started?
All right.
I mean, because like you got started at, was it 22, you said?
22 is when I bought my first one by myself. So first off, I went to college, went to VCU, got an accounting degree. During those summers at VCU, my dad up in Northern Virginia had a construction company.
Nice.
I worked for him and on his crews, learning how to do everything because he was flipping some of the houses. He was working for doing, construction for other people too, and working on some houses. So his crew members and employees were teaching me what he does to the houses. And I was also getting paid like $15 an hour. I mean, nothing crazy, but I was learning a lot and waking up at 6 a.m., going home at 6 p.m., and there were long days. So that's how I kind of got my construction knowledge. Once I graduated from college, I was looking for an accounting degree for a little bit, but then my dad was looking for a house up here in Richmond for me to work on. So he bought one in Prince George.
Nice.
And he had me manage it and also work on it at the same time. So I was the GC, but also working on the house.
Yeah.
And he was paying me by the hour too, $20 an hour. He let me invest in this one as well. So I think I had about $10,000 saved up from just working and everything.
Was it an equity split or was it?
It was an equity split. So
nice.
he gets private money loans as well. So he got a loan on the property. Whatever cash at the end of the whole project that we put into it, we'll split that. So $10,000. If I put $10,000 in, we put a total of $50 in cash. I'd get 20% equity. So we never knew the exact amount of equity until the end of the project.
Until you sold it.
Exactly. So then I put some ads on Craigslist looking for contractors because he did end up buying one, and then it needed a lot of work. I invested it.
How do you buy it?
Auction. So courthouse
staff.
Not the physical courthouse, but online on auction.com.
Okay. It wasn't like a foreclosure or anything.
It was a foreclosure.
It was a foreclosure.
Yeah, foreclosure. So he bought it online on an online auction, but not at the steps.
Okay.
Sometimes they do online auctions. I think it depends on the trustee or something. But we did that. I hired the contractors off Craigslist, and went through.
Why Craigslist? Was it because he was from Northern Virginia and he didn't have like a team?
He didn't have a team at all here. And I didn't have a team at all here either. I didn't know anybody.
It was just you.
Yeah, it was just me. So I went and posted on Craigslist. Some guy would show up, and then 3 days later he wouldn't show up. And I was paying them by the hour, put the ad out by the hour. And I was working with them so I could see how they work and see if they know stuff. But then finally I got someone that was willing to stay, like, working by it was actually Justin, the contractor we used.
Oh, yeah?
So he was able, he was showing up on time and everything. And through the whole project, it took us about 3 months to finish the whole thing. And at the end, we put it on the market. My dad didn't even came by the project one time in the middle of it. So he literally just let me do whatever I want. So the paint edges all over the ceilings were terrible. Like so much. We put the ugliest like tan square tile in the kitchen. No advice at all. It's just like, all right, fix it up. Yeah. And so then we put it on the market, and it was a good area, but it sat on the market for about four months. Because everyone that toured it would leave like a 2-star feedback and say needs a ton of work and everything. But 4 months later, we finally, it might have been 5, but
Good thing we still use that contractor.
He's gotten better.
Yeah. But 5 months later, we finally sold it. I think the profits were like 20. We still made a profit.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's good.
we also lowered the price like multiple times and still made like I think 50 total.
Oh,
so,
That's
wow.
still solid, yeah.
Yeah, the house we bought it for was like 140 and sold it for 260 or something like that.
Nice.
And we put about 60 into it.
Yeah.
Including all the loans and stuff. So I got my 10,000 back plus roughly about 20,000 extra profit wise equity split.
That's great. So, and you spent how long?
Probably about
6 months, 4 months?
It's probably about 4 to 5 months.
All right, so it's 5 months. You invested 10 of your own personal cash,
Right.
thanks to your dad, and then you got another 20 back, or you got 20 total back?
I got 20 plus my 10 back.
You got
Ooh.
30
And I was
back.
getting paid by the hour from the
And
profit.
you were getting
From the
paid back.
company.
For, yeah, because I was still working as a
That was an
contractor.
expense. So, like,
yeah, exactly.
so in addition to that, you also got 20
Yeah.
additional back.
Exactly.
That's
Wow.
And then, so during that one, he bought another one. So we did that for about 2 more after that. Those went a little bit
Total of
smoother.
3.
Total of 3. They didn't need as much work.
Didn't you do 3?
Yeah, 4,
Yeah.
well, 3
Okay.
or 4, yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
It's a
similar.
theme.
little pattern,
Yeah.
little pattern.
And then after the third one, he started slowing down on properties. He was looking, but slowing down on
Was
stuff.
it because it was far away, or like?
No, it's
you
because
needed-
I think it's because just less properties were coming on the market or something like that. Somewhere you couldn't find good enough deals to keep me and my contractors busy.
Yeah.
So then I was still looking on, and while I was doing this, I was listening to Bigger Pockets every day on my headphones. I listened from episode 1. I've listened to every episode at least once.
Really?
Because while I was working, I had nothing to do because I was literally just painting and stuff like that. So
I was gonna say AirPods, but those
Yeah.
didn't exist.
yeah, I was bored.
Wait,
Earphones
what's
with
this?
the wire.
What year was this?
2017.
2017? Okay.
16, 17.
Nice.
17, I think. Yeah, 17.
So back then, it was normal for a house to sit for 2 or 3 months. 4 months was a little excessive.
Yeah, but the work we did, I could see why. Going back and looking at it, it's like, dang, we should have changed so many things from that house. But,
Cool.
then,
So it's like 2 or 3 more. So you bought one, sold, and then there was like another project or 2 that came around. You guys did the same
Sold
thing.
those.
Just
yeah,
sold those.
exactly. And made a little bit of money. Didn't need as much work, like I said, so they were easier to sell.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we didn't do work. But then he started slowing down. But while we were working on him, I was looking on Craigslist every day for properties, and then I came across one in Petersburg for $20K. At this point, I had enough saved up to buy that all cash.
Yeah.
Nice.
So and it only needed a little bit of work, like 2 to 4K.
No kidding.
Something
Repairs.
you could do.
Yes, so I had me, and then my contractor, who I still had, was working for me by the hour. Because at this point, I got it under contract, closed on it, and then we started working on that one, and we fixed it up. I rented that one out, and then in the meantime, I was focusing on other things. I tried starting a lawn company and everything, and I still had some cash, but I was kind of diverting a little bit towards real estate. But I was still looking for deals.
Yeah.
At the same time. And then I went and decided, I'm going to pull some cash out because I was listening to podcasts. They're saying pull cash out and refinance your properties at a low interest rate.
BRRRR.
Yeah,
I'm sure that was like coming around.
exactly. So on that $20,000 house that I bought, put about $3,000 in, including my labor. But so I'm all in for like $25 if you include closing costs. It appraised for $45,000. So I pulled out $36,000. I got 80% loan on it. Yeah.
No kidding.
And then after I got that check, I was just like,
I mean, you got your purchase price for the house, which was like
25.
yeah.
25.
And then plus another
No,
12.
No, 20.
No,
20.
20 was the purchase price.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, 25 all in plus
All
another
in.
11, and it was already renting for $600 a month.
So you got all of your acquisition, your construction costs, and some money.
Yeah.
And 11 grand.
Yeah.
Some money.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a
I mean,
lot.
it's like 40%.
And then after that, I was like, holy crap, this is insane. And then I still get, the mortgage payment still to this day is like $303.
Nice.
Getting now $650 in rent. Went up a little bit. I probably should raise it a little more. But then that's when light bulb really
$300
clicked.
cash flow plus $11,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And on
Infinite return.
and appreciation of the property, kind of everything. I can rent it out, flip it or sell it in the future if I wanted to, everything like that. So then I started looking for more deals. Went on Craigslist every day. found another 2 in Petersburg that this guy was, or a duplex in Petersburg.
All right, so let me slow you down. So from you getting the first deal with your dad to you buying the first deal on your own, how long did that take?
So while I was working for my dad, I was looking, and then I got it under contract while we were finishing up a project on his end.
Okay, so a year and a half, a year?
Working for my dad for about a year.
So you worked for your dad for a year.
Yeah.
You acquired a bunch of skills down here in Petersburg, or down here in Richmond.
Yeah.
So it was about a year. Then you bought your first, obviously within what was reasonable for you.
Right.
And that happened to be Petersburg.
Yeah.
So you bought that, and then the light bulb clicked 4 months later when you refied and did the whole thing.
How long did the refi take?
So for that one, it was about I think 6 months because they needed the seasoning.
Seasoning.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
But I was doing other stuff during that time. Like I actually started a lawn company that I was working on some lawns, but that was too much of my time. And then once I got that refi check, I was looking for others in Petersburg, and then I found a duplex, which I'm actually having a contract to sell right now today.
Was that your second
That
property?
was my second property.
So you've owned it for 5 years.
Yeah, and the owner said he's willing to finance it, so.
Nice.
But I said to the owner, if I can get a regular loan, can I get it? I'll just get it with a loan. But he said if I wasn't able to get that loan, he would finance it
for you.
Yeah, he would fund it for me, which was like a win-win situation for me. So I just went to the bank. I went to the first bank I went to. I had a bigger pockets calculator also. Like this is what it's going to cash flow and everything. I was expecting to get rejected right away. And he's like, "Oh, I'm the commercial officer. Yeah, come into my office." And I brought the spreadsheet. This is what I could rent for. This is what the mortgage would be. This is all the expenses. Should cash flow for about $200 a month. It's literally rented right now. And he's just like, "Okay, we'll look over it and we'll give you a call." And the next day he gives me a call. He's like, "Yeah, you've been approved." I was like, "What?" I have like no job.
No experience.
But that was because it was a commercial
loan. So
it wasn't like a conventional.
Yeah, exactly.
So the commercial was like looking at the rent.
Yeah,
and
people don't understand that.
So
when I went in, I didn't even know what I was looking. I was looking for a conventional loan, but then the commercial officer comes up.
But I feel like what was really helpful is that you brought that bigger pockets spreadsheet,
right?
Because it was like, look, I've done my numbers, and this is what the mortgage is gonna be, I think, and this is what it's gonna rent for, and this is what we should cash flow.
Yeah, it's very organized. It has like a picture in the corner of the property. It has I had like a stupid logo I made with my company. And I'm pretty professional. And it showed all the numbers and everything. So
nice. Awesome. Wow.
And then that one was already rented, so I got approved for the loan. I put like $8,000 down because the purchase price was $44. They funded 80% of it.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
so your refi pretty much paid for that.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Nice.
No money out of pocket. It appraised and everything went good. And then I fixed it up a little once one of the tenants moved out. Fixed it up a little, mostly myself because I was doing the sweat equity. And then I kept kind of doing that little process. I bought the first one, obviously all cash, but then I started buying them on loans.
From private?
From banks?
No, commercial loans, but privately, because that same guy sold me a quadplex. Because he has a bunch of properties in Richmond, and so he did the same deal. If I don't get approved.
And you met him through Craigslist.
Yeah.
Like that just goes to show you can find him anywhere.
Yeah, you do still use Craigslist.
Still look up Craigslist.
Yeah. He's like, it's worked for me. In the good old days, Craigslist.
Yeah, now people transfer to Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
Everyone sees it. Probably better marketing, but.
Interesting.
That's crazy.
And then from there, I just kept doing the BRRRR.
So
from there, and then now I'm moving towards Richmond area.
So you went to school, got a degree in accounting. Wasn't that safer to just like go
be an accountant?
Yeah, be an accountant. You'd make good money, and then like you could invest more passively. Whereas like, okay, I'm just gonna do it by a turnkey. Like, why not that? I mean,
so I think working for my dad, growing up around him and everything, I kind of saw the entrepreneur mindset, and that kind of made me steer away from 9 to 5.
I also feel like he was encouraging you. Where he was like, I just bought a house in Prince George.
Yeah, by letting me invest with him and everything and trusting me to do all that, kind of really built my confidence. And,
that's cool.
And then that's how I was able to pull the trigger on these houses. The first one was super nervous to buy. The first one in Petersburg.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Freaking heart dropped. I was just like, wait, holy crap! I'm actually buying. But then I was like thinking, what's the worst? It's a $20,000 house. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of money for like a.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not like a $20,000 is going to go to $0.
Yeah,
I mean, it might go to 18. It might go to 16. But I'm not going to lose.
Not gonna lose
Yeah,
a ton of money.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, when you went to college, did you have any intentions of being an accountant?
Not really. My mom kind of wanted me to go and get a degree and have that as a
number
Is that like a backup?
I guess for me, the way I looked at it, it was a backup.
So it wasn't like
as a full-time job thing. Like, this is going to be a great career.
Yeah,
it wasn't. It's not a bad career.
Yeah, she wanted me to kind of pursue it a little bit. She's still like. Even like 3 years into it, she's like, "So when are you gonna get your CPA and become an accountant?" and stuff like that. I'm like, "I'm not gonna do
Mom,
that."
that ship has sailed, Mom. It's gone.
Yeah. But it was a good like mentally, I guess, to have that backbone to say.
It was or wasn't?
I think it was. Because then I could say, if all else fails, I could.
Has that helped you in your real estate with the accounting background, like knowing?
A little bit. They didn't
teach.
teach.
Like that.
No, they didn't teach that much in college, and I think you know this a little bit.
They didn't account balances.
Yeah, they didn't teach specific softwares. They didn't teach QuickBooks, which is what we use now.
Yeah.
It helped a little bit, but it wasn't. It's nothing when you actually run your own business and and like oversee your accounting.
I feel like being an accountant would have huge advantages if you knew real estate accounting with depreciation and all of that stuff. That could come in handy.
Yeah, it's handy because I'm a huge numbers guy. I love looking at the profit and losses and looking at how much I have into each property and everything. So accounting helped in a way to know when to do a debit or credit when you're receiving income, and it really makes me hone in on the numbers.
Keeps you organized.
Exactly.
Yeah, if anything, I feel like that's what it's done for me. Is like
because you got an accounting degree too, right?
I did too. Yeah, so it's like understanding the language of money.
Yeah.
And knowing how it flows, right? Like. Sure, it flows. We're all business owners, but it's like understanding the language of money. It's like understanding English, right? Like how's a good sentence composed?
Yes.
Right? Like it's very similar to that. So like, I guess,
See, I always loved accounting, but didn't ever no college.
So do you do your own books? Who does your bookkeeping?
No, I'd hire somebody to do that. Yeah. It's easier that way.
Yeah. So for me, I actually taught a virtual assistant how to do my bookkeeping.
Nice.
So now
he does it. Learn your bookkeeping.
I had to learn it. Yeah. The first couple years, I was looking up YouTube videos and everything, watching it, and then I made a spreadsheet of how to do everything, how to do
insert it in.
Yeah, exactly. Record it, and then at the end of the year, I just sent all my profit and losses to my accountant and. Saves a lot of money that way because then
it saves a lot of money.
Yeah,
you're paying $300, $400, $500 a month for them to keep your books.
Yeah, and it also gives you good insight on how your business is doing.
I think that's what it does more so than anything.
Yeah, it's more important, I think.
Yeah, I think like even saving the $300-$400 or $200 or whatever you're paying, like the knowing the ins and outs and I've spent too much on this and I've made more on like all that really helps because you should be pivoting your business frequently. You should be keeping your hand on the hips of the business model and just being like, okay, cool, something's going on, something is better than I expected, something's going worse than I expected,
and we need to keep going this way.
Doing that. It's KRMs. It's just like really just checking.
Yeah, just checks and balances and keeping up with it. But that's basically.
Well, that was the first year. That was like the first
couple years.
Yeah.
And then since then, how have you pivoted from there?
So now I've just been doing.
So sorry to interrupt, but so the first three were flips. No. The first three were
with partners. Yeah,
with partners. My dad. Okay, so the first three were flips, and then the fourth one was a rental.
Right.
And then the fourth one was a duplex. And it was rental.
Yeah, it was rental. After that, I've only flipped one house myself, actually. I kept them all. Yeah.
So how did... All right, so then we need to break that down, because, how are you affording your lifestyle? So you're single. You're not married. You don't have kids. So that does help to some degree, right? Because, you can really strip down your life as much as you want, but, you still need to survive.
Yeah.
Right? You still have health insurance. You still have a roof to put over your head. And we'll get to that because, like, you got really creative with that. But, like, you still need to put food on the table for yourself.
Yeah.
So, like, with BRRRRing, like, sure, you made $11,000 on your first one that you BRRRRed, but, like, and you've only flipped one. So, like, how else are you making money? Because, like, I know we've talked about, like, BRRRRs, and you're really strong on, like, the BRRRR method, but, like, and refis.
Yeah.
But, like, break that down more because, like, I feel like that can be really daunting to, like, I'm not going to get that.
I think it helped, though, because he didn't come from a job. So, therefore, he never knew, hey, I need to work hourly.
Was it because of his age?
Well, he never went into, like, yes, he had a job as in flipping a house was your first, but you never came from an hourly job or something like that.
Well, I did work some hourly jobs, but not like a corporate.
Like a corporate job to know, hey, I need to make this much money. You came in from the bottom and then you worked your way to that point.
Yeah, so basically, the way I was funding my lifestyle was, well, first of all, I was living with a boyfriend and girlfriend in their 2-bedroom apartment. I got one in their bedroom, so I was only paying $330.
Nice.
Because they split the rent in 3 ways, luckily.
So
you're always a shrewd negotiator.
So I was doing that for a whole year, so my expenses for rent were only $350.
And your one rental had already covered that.
Yeah, exactly. And then health insurance, I was still on my mom's plans because I was
26.
under 26. Yeah, I just changed off of it. Darn it. But so my expenses were like extremely low throughout that whole time. But the way I was generating income was first off the passive income, a little bit of passive income.
The rentals.
Yeah, maybe like 100, 200 per door. But I was actually making money a lot off the refinances, and that's how I was kind of getting a lot of cash into my bank account is from the refis.
Nice.
And let's say I put in...
but that takes time, though, right?
It does take time, yeah.
Yeah, the refi is like after you...
That's
so you were
4
burning
months down the road.
Yeah.
You were burning
So I was burning it. But
so
then I started getting to the point where I had
refis
enough cash to do 2 BRRRRs at once. And so I was able to, cash out on one and then cash out on another one a month later and then cash out on another one 2 months later or whatever. And then
stagger them.
Yeah, exactly.
So you were buying really good, deeply discounted deals.
Yeah.
And being able to cash out refi.
Exactly. I was cashing out, refining. And the ones in Petersburg, because I bought my first 7, I think, in Petersburg, were about, $30,000 purchase price. So I didn't need that much cash. And sometimes I did borrow that money, too. I started to borrow that.
Yeah, to be able to do multiple, I'm sure, yeah.
And I did the repairs, and they only need like $5,000 to $10,000, nothing crazy.
Awesome.
But I've noticed the appraisals were coming in like way
50,
like higher than I would think. And then I was able to pull out 75% of that. So I'd be all in for 40. They'd give me a $45,000 loan, and I'd leave at the end of the day with $5,000.
And you still had $20,000, $30,000 in equity.
Yeah, exactly. And then that $5,000, I would, take.
Yeah, if your expenses are super slow,
and then I'd start buying 3 at once, and then doing that, and then whenever I could find a deal, I'd try and buy it.
So it helped you, like, obviously it was like a drug. You got the dopamine hit, and you were just like, all right, I need to do more. I want to do more. But like, what helped you kind of hold back from like lifestyle like? I mean, you're a suitor, right? Like, you're trying to find a girlfriend. You're young.
Yeah.
Go out with friends, girlfriends, like dating. Like, you can easily blow money.
Yeah.
So it was like, I mean, at that age, bro. Like,
23, 24 years old. It's easy.
Man, I had wheels that were more expensive than I could afford.
Right.
Like, I was spending money more than what I could.
$400
so, like,
car payment.
what was your mindset at that point?
So at first, when I was working for my dad and getting paid $20 an hour, I had that mindset. I was like, "Oh, I'm making $20 an hour. I don't need to work an hour to get 2 drinks at the bar." You know. So I did have that mindset. It's like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, I was spending a lot more. But then when I switched over to not working for him anymore and making my own money, I'm like, dang, now I'm not getting paid by the hour. Now I have to actually not spend as much and everything. And I did have I always kept a good amount of reserves in case, I needed to tap into, in case I needed to tap into that or whatever. But I think it's just, it was just me going from the employee mindset to entrepreneur and knowing that, this $20 can turn into $40 4 years from now. Or that $200 turn to $400.
Or the $20 that you have, you might not if you just spend it, you're not going to re-earn
Yeah,
it.
it's just gone.
It's just
You just
gone.
transformed your mindset. Is all that was.
Yeah, exactly. So I think of it as like $1 saved and not spent can turn into 10, 20 years from now.
Yeah.
You know?
Cool.
And obviously, the bigger the number, the bigger it gets.
Yeah, the multiplier.
So what made you never want to flip any of these houses? You just had the keep mindset this whole time, like. Because for me, it was that quick cash, that quick check. I don't know how you could.
I think it was from the Bigger Pockets podcast that really honed it. I mean, obviously, flippers, they talk about flipping, but I think it was podcasts I was listening to, the equity build up, the cash flow. And also, I'm still getting paid on the back end, just not as much as the flip. I don't have to renovate it as much of a flip. Don't need to do any inspections. You know, you're done with the property. You just put it on the market, rental right away, and it gets rented. For flips, you have that. You know, all the, I guess, contingencies that you have to go by.
You have home inspections, appraisals, all this other.
So I think I didn't want to deal with it deep down. Deal with the fixing
the hassle
out.
of the.
Yeah, and at the time in Petersburg, I mean, it wasn't really a flippers market. I mean, homeowners weren't going in there and buying houses and stuff like that. So I didn't see the value in flipping it. I think that was a big thing.
Okay. Yeah. So I also think that, and correct me if I'm wrong, I also think that it was because of the market that you were in, you were burring and getting money out. So it was like a win-win.
A win-win.
It was a plus. I mean, across the board, you were winning.
10 instead of 20, 25.
You were buying a good deal. You were cash flowing. You were getting money on the back end, and then you were getting passive income. Like you were just winning all the way across. I feel like if you were in a much tighter market, if you would have started in Richmond or anywhere, I don't know because I wasn't in Richmond at the time, right? But like. If you would have started buying in a market where you had to you were coming out flush or you had to leave money in, I feel like that could have changed things.
Or the price point too probably would have changed my mindset.
Yeah,
like
it was more expensive.
Like I need to get out. I'm in too much debt. I need to get out of this and sell it or something like that.
And your ROIs were probably crazy.
I was looking at the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
$300 mortgage, $650. I'll take that all with no money into it.
Yeah,
I'll take that all day.
So you had 100% ROIs.
Yeah, so I think starting in Petersburg really helped me with that.
It was a confidence thing too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And then I moved to Richmond, and then I started doing the same thing, and I just never really got into flipping.
Yeah,
just the
everything
flipping.
you can, and now it's just a matter of short-term or long-term rental because you don't even think about the flip.
Yeah.
But that's probably your exit strategy, maybe. But
but now I'm starting to sell my ones in Petersburg to bring that money to Richmond.
Okay, nice. So you're basically trading your smaller houses or smaller value houses for bigger value houses.
Exactly, and they've appreciated since I bought them.
The ones
like crazy.
Like some of them doubled in value or probably already.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And I feel like for newer people, that's an easier way to get in because. You're 30, 40, 50,000 versus me. I go in and I'm spending 120 on the purchase, plus another 50 on the rehab, and now we're in for 170.
Yeah, I think it's less. Some people, I think it's less risk.
It's way less risk.
Yeah, it's manageable, right? Because
you can afford to comprehend.
If you absolutely needed to, I'm sure you could go get a job and afford a $300 mortgage to pay for that rental if it went.
You go get a crappy job and pay the $300 mortgage if you had to.
If you had to.
And it's not going to be for a year or 2 years. It's going to be a matter of 2 or 3 months.
And that's a mental thing, right? Because you had to build yourself up into that because you were wholesaling. So mentally you were kind of financially preparing yourself. And then
his was way different.
Way different.
And also, you earn credibility with banks just because you own a property and know how to manage it. Whether it's a $20,000 property or $400,000 property, the bank doesn't care. They see you're managing a property, you know how to collect the rent, you know how to manage tenants and do the repairs. So that kind of helped me get the loans in the future for these bigger properties.
That's cool.
Yeah, and you've really mastered the art of BRRRR, right? Where you buy, renovate. And then
explain BRRRR because a lot of people don't know what BRRRR is.
So it's when you buy the property, you buy it at a good price, deeply discounted. You renovate it to force some equity into it. So let's say you're buying a property for $50, you're putting $20 into it. You want it in the end result, it's worth $100. Then you go and rent it out for whatever the market rent is. Let's say $800, and then you refinance it. The bank will give you a 75% loan to value on that. So they'll send an appraiser out. Let's say it appraises at $100. They'll give you $75,000 cash check. If you have a loan on it, you obviously have to pay that off first before you receive that cash. But it's basically as simple as buying at the right price and knowing your repair budget.
Because a lot of people don't understand that because they think their debt to income ratio has to be this or their income has to be this. You had no job when you got started. And a bank trusted
that first
you.
one.
A bank literally trusted a 22, 23 years old.
They trusted me because they saw I was managing one property already for whatever 6 months. Saw there's a tenant in there. I gave them a spreadsheet of, is an Excel spreadsheet, something stupid, but $600 a month, and then I would act like there's been zero expenses every month. Give it to them, be like, oh yeah, just taxes and insurance, all right, you make it $500 a month. And then they saw that, and then so they do like to see a little bit of when they're giving you these loans. Sometimes, obviously now you could probably get them with. But the guy that gave me the loan did ask me, where to show your financials on this property.
Oh, okay, nice.
But at that point, I had 4 or 5 months of
income coming in. And,
yeah, exactly.
See, that's crazy. It's crazy that they trust a 22, 23-year-old to give them a loan on a house, and they have no job history.
Right.
None of
I think it's more of the confidence in knowing what you're talking about when you're going in.
It is. Oh, and it is. It is. Do your research. Don't just go in blindfolded.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen to podcasts, read books,
be prepared.
Listen to audibles.
Yeah. But as you go to a bunch of bankers, they'll ask you questions. You'll if you don't know, if you don't think you know, you'll figure it out. And eventually you'll hit a bank where they'll be like, okay, sure.
And not only that, but you have YouTube, all these options in front of you, and education that teach you these things. People don't utilize them. You learned all this from Bigger Pockets, a podcast. All you did was listen to it while you were renovating a house. You don't get any more real than that.
And some people get on the bus, get on the metro. If you live in metropolitan areas, or if you're in Richmond, you're go and walk, whatever. I don't know, but
everyone has an hour a day to listen to
everybody,
something.
Man, you're in the car for 15 minutes going to work,
driving
or
to work, or you're getting ready, or you just put it on and listen to it. And
I still listen to them all the time too.
I was gonna say, if it wasn't for Bigger Pockets, where would you be?
To be honest, I don't even know. I'd probably be way smaller, not know as much. Maybe I'll have an accounting job. Who knows?
Well, I'd be hiring you.
Let me just let you know that.
I'll be doing tax for
Would you buy my extension?
Damn. So you've only done, other than the 3 that you did with your dad as flips, you've only done one other
flip.
Yeah, the Grand. That's my only real flip.
No kidding.
And you were like, I shouldn't have sold that. I should have kept going.
But I guess I have one under contract that I bought, 2018. I don't know if that's considered a flip if I've held it.
No, you've held it for 3 more years.
Yeah, you've held it for over a year. So I feel like at that point, you've rented it.
Once you go past renting it for a year, 2 years, it's not a flip at that point. It's an investment.
Wow. Okay, so
crazy.
then you still, to this day, because deals have gotten tighter, right?
way tighter.
Yeah.
So you're still burning properties, so you're still pulling money out. You're still finding those home run deals where you're pulling money out.
Yeah. Well, the last 2 I've gotten higher appraisals than I thought, so I've been able to actually because for me, if I could borrow at people would disagree, but if I could borrow at 4 or 5% interest, I'll pull out 75% of the value of the appraiser value.
That's dirt cheap money.
Yeah.
At that point.
So one of them, when I first ran my numbers, I thought I was going to appraise for 190. I ended up appraising for 220.
Wow.
I was like, damn. And I pulled out 75% of 220, which was all my expenses plus another 6,000. And then this last one, I was on for 114 and appraised for 199.
Nice.
That one I only pulled out 130 though because I did a different loan where the debt service ratio couldn't go above 130. So
do you think this crazy market has helped with your appraisals? Because I feel like appraisals are coming higher because the market's crazy.
Yeah, but if you have a DSCR, then because of rent, it can
which is debt service coverage ratio. So basically, your rent has to overcome your mortgage by a certain amount. So if you have a $800 mortgage,
1.1 1.15, 1.25.
Don't need $1,000 rent.
Appraisal doesn't matter as much at that point.
Once you go past that certain limit where your mortgage is $800, so you can't pull out your mortgage payment per month can't be more than $800.
Yeah.
And plus, you wouldn't want it to be anyways, because now your cash flow is nothing.
Yeah, that's
so when
true.
When you're analyzing the deal, you don't want it to be that.
But for
high.
me, I would still probably pull it out, to be honest.
So that's awesome. That's Dylan's kind of history
background
and real estate investing. It's very different than Daryl's. I mean, you went straight from like construction to like flipping 3, just like Daryl did, to then starting to do starting to do rentals. You did it in a prime market. That market has done really well. You've done one other flip since, but like you continue to turn those around. But now you're looking to pivot as of like maybe the last year and a half, something like that. Like you've now pivoted over into Richmond,
right?
And now that's also still influencing like how you're modeling your business, and that's still kind of a growing phase too. But like, yeah, you have to just keep pivoting depending on the market, depending on your skill sets. Because I mean, as you become a better and better investor, that's also changed too, right?
Yeah.
So like, there's a lot of things that have changed along the way, and
his skills have grown from doing house to house to house. Yeah. Your skills and your knowledge on how to do it has grown.
Definitely from my first house. Amazing difference from my first house.
So things have changed. So again, like I mentioned before, like each one of us has a story. We just need to get started. Honestly, it's very much a shooting and point approach for all of us. We've all tried it. We've all figured it out, and then we end up in a position that ends up being better. And you only realize what that better position is because you've tried these different things, and you're like, okay, I can do it better. And it's a self-improvement thing. It's not I started it and it was perfect from the first one that I did, and it was like, no.
Yeah.
And still to this day, we make mistakes.
Yeah,
like, I don't know about y'all, but I buy houses, not all the time, but I buy houses here and there that weren't great deals.
Yeah.
Me too.
Now, yes, I got out of them okay, but they were not great deals, and I should not have. And if I was just starting, I wouldn't have bought them.
Yeah.
I would have never bought these houses when I first started because I was way too nervous and cautious to get in a situation. And now we've gotten a little more comfortable to where we get that bad deal. Now it throws our guard back up a little bit, which we need from time to time.
Yeah, and I still make mistakes on the renovation side, whether it be overpaying contractors or not managing them correctly and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not doing one thing right for a flip, not adding a dishwasher to a flip or something stupid.
Or you get too many, and now you're not as involved in each and every one of them.
And then contractors mess up.
And then the contractor messes up, and you didn't catch it until 3 weeks down the road when it could have been fixed if you were there, like you used to be when you first started.
Yeah, that happens a lot once you're scaling.
It does. It happens when you scale.
Yeah. So cool. Well, that's episode number 5. And again, welcome
to
Generation
H.
No, but you usually do the subscribe.
So don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
Smash it.
If you're on a touch screen, just a gentle little poke. If you're on a computer, a little mouse stroke. You can also hit the like button. That would do us a lot. And
Generation.